Hello. It's been a while. I think it's finally time to shed some light on what's been going on over the past few months in a multi-month recap extravaganza on This Week with BigC. It is a sunny, very warm Sunday morning in mid-August of 2023. As you can see, I'm out of my porch, which is the most picturesque location I have where I can sit and talk to everybody about what's been going on. And we got stuff to talk about. So, of course, a lot of people have been asking since we went on our little hiatus when This Week was going to come back. And this is kind of, we'll call it an appetizer. I don't think we're going to bring it back full-time just yet. But enough has happened where I think it's meriting a actual episode. So, here we go. I filmed a few clips throughout the last few months. A few were back in May, and then I filmed a few over the last few days. In mid-August. So we didn't really have much to film in June or July, but we did film a few clips over the last few months, so I've got some stuff for you. And then I'll just talk about kind of my thoughts on when This Week is going to return, because I do have an idea and I think it's going to work, but we'll talk about that at the end. So let's get to the recap, and I'll share everything that's happened over the last few months. Hey everybody, it's Saturday, and this is going to be coming for the return episode, I guess, of This Week, or like maybe a special episode. I'm not really sure, but just wanted to share some stuff. Some stuff has happened. Today is the 27th of May, 2023. So, a couple things. First off, finished off my first week of work on the phones. I really like how Angie handles training, honestly, a lot more than Comcast does, because with Comcast, it took us weeks before we started taking calls. And with Angie, they literally put us on the phone on the 5th day of training. Granted, it was only for like an hour, but we still went on the phone. And I've now spent an entire week on the phone, and I'm starting to really get comfortable doing it and figuring out what I need to do. But the nice thing is throughout the week, they're kind of adding additional tools to our tool belt so that we can continue to improve our calls and make them even better, which is awesome. But apparently my team has been doing very well. First off, I've made 2 sales, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually is, because the requirement for a new hire is to get 1 sale in the first 7 weeks. I've gotten 2 in 1 week, so I'm doing pretty well. Second of all, apparently our training class is breaking all kinds of records. So many, in fact, that the head honcho of Angie is actually going to talk to us when we come back to work on Tuesday. We have a 3-day weekend because it's Memorial Day. On Monday. So we're getting to hear from the CEO of the company, or the top dog of Angie, which is really awesome. So clearly what they're doing is working, and clearly I'm in a really special training class. On top of that, I was very, very close on a number of sales that I'm going to try to finish up when I go back to work next week. So that's fantastic. So yeah, work has been going very well. Very, very happy with how work is going. And the further I get in the process, the more I realize I think this was the best thing that could have happened. Because now I'm in a job that not only I enjoy more, but I can potentially be much more successful in than when I was at Comcast. And I was doing well at Comcast, but I can do a lot better here and make a lot more money here. And I think this is the right job for me. So I'm very, very happy about that. The other interesting thing, and it gave me a mini heart attack this morning. So I have an iPhone 14. That's what I film my videos on. And that's what I'm filming this video on. So I'm sure you'll realize as I go through this story that things aren't as bad as they seemed. But I charge my phone every night using a MagSafe charger, which MagSafe is Apple's like wireless charging thing. And I mostly started doing that because I had one day with my iPhone 12 where it got wet and it took forever for the port to dry out. And I didn't have a wireless charger. So I couldn't charge it before I had to go to some event where I needed it to be as charged as possible. And that was really bothering me. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go all in on wireless chargers this time. So I got the MagSafe wireless charger for home. I got a battery pack that uses MagSafe. I got all this MagSafe stuff. Anyway, so last night I went to bed. I charged my phone, plugged it in, good to go. Woke up this morning, and normally, you know, my phone has the always on display. So all I have to do is like tap it and it will show me what's going on. Didn't turn on. So I messed with my phone for a while and it wasn't turning on. I held the power button. I did the reset trick. I did everything that I was supposed to do. My phone just was not turning on and I could not figure out why. And I was royally panicking because, as I'm sure most people are these days, your phone is kind of the most important tool you have these days because it's everything. It's your contacts. It's, you know, some people, it's how you access your car. You do so many things with your cell phone these days. It's kind of important for it to work. So I was royally panicking that my phone got bricked. So I contacted Apple support and messaged them and talked to them for a while. And eventually, for some reason, I'm not sure what caused it, but I did the reset trick again and it powered on. And now it's working fine. I also noticed it wasn't fully charged, so my guess is because the MagSafe charger can get kind of hot overnight, maybe it overheated and turned off, the phone turned off and it took a second to cool down and turn back. I don't know. Regardless, my phone's fine. It works perfectly fine. Everything's fine. But it was a panic this morning. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, that's what's been going on. Really good time at work. And that little heart attack. In terms of the weekend, I don't really have a lot of plans. Apparently I might be hanging out with Matt and his friend and his cousin today. Okay, it gives me something to do. Don't really have anything planned for Saturday. Oh no, today is Saturday, Sunday. And then Monday, my brother, my dad, potentially both my brothers, and my youngest brother's girlfriend might be coming over. So we might be doing something on Monday. And maybe Matt too. Matt might also come over for that. So, hey, that's fun. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I basically just spent the morning editing. I'm editing the finale, quote unquote, episode of This Week with BigC. And it's funny, as I'm editing what I claimed was the finale, I'm filming a clip for the next one, whenever that will be. It's going to be a while. So you're not going to see this until long after that episode has aired. Or maybe sooner, who knows? I'm just taking a break at the moment from this week. But yeah, that's what's going on. Hey everybody, it is Tuesday. Today's been a disaster. So, over the weekend, RAC stopped working. And that's bad enough, especially because it's getting to it gets so hot in here that it makes it difficult for me to sleep. Like, as you can see, I'm pretty sweaty, like I'm glistening, because it's hot in here. It's in the 80s. And even with fans, the fans help a little, but I mean, they're just blowing hot air around. So it's not pleasant at all. So we called maintenance, and they did come in today to attempt to fix the AC. But apparently they did something else when they attempted to fix the AC. So as you can see on the ground, markings, because that's water. Water has seeped in from the bathroom into the carpet. And it's actually tracking all the way out into the living room now. So apparently when they were messing with the AC, there's some sort of blockage with pipes. So now my my toilet just started overflowing, and it hasn't stopped. It's still leaking, which is why this is getting worse. I just discovered it when I was at work. After the AC was supposedly fixed, I went to go to the bathroom and saw the bathroom was flooded. I'm not going to show you how that looks because it's pretty bad. But yeah, so now the AC still doesn't work, and my bathroom is flooded, and now there's water all over the ground underneath the carpet. So this is just disaster. And what's worse is the fact that we've called maintenance. Both Corey and I called maintenance, requested emergency assistance, because this is a bad problem that needs to get resolved immediately. They never came. So more than likely this is going to sit overnight and will probably get a lot worse by tomorrow morning, which is just fantastic. So yeah, pretty bad, but nothing I can do. Hey everybody, it is Sunday in August. So obviously it's been quite a while since I filmed a clip, but stuff has happened, so I figured it's worth sharing. Also, I will like to mention that I know it's been a while and a lot of people have been kind of asking if BigCTV will bring back this week soon. And I will tell you that we are getting to the more interesting part of the year. So there's a chance it'll come back. I've been doing a lot, been focusing a lot on stuff, which is why I haven't been filming a lot on any of my channels. They're kind of all slow. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. So I want to talk about my job. So I'm sure a lot of you knew, if you've watched past episodes, that after I was fired by Comcast, I got hired 2 weeks later by Angie, which is basically, it's Angie's List. And my job is to call contractors and try to sell them on why they should advertise on Angie to get additional business. And it is a difficult job, to say the least. So how the process works is you get 1 week of training. That's just straight up training. You go through modules. They show you what to do. Literally at the end of that week, you take your first phone calls. Comcast, I didn't take my first phone call until I think it was 4 or 5 weeks into training. So that tells you this is a very different beast than what I did at Comcast. And then from there, you have windows where you have to accomplish certain goals. And if you don't accomplish those goals, you lose your job. This is a very performance-focused job. So the first goal was I had to sell one sale on my own, or actually, no, I think I had to sell one sale on my own within the first 5 or 6 weeks, which thankfully I did in my first week on the phone. So I got that done quickly. My second goal, which unfortunately I did not accomplish, but it wasn't the end of the world, was if you got a certain dollar amount in sales or a certain number of sales within that same time period, you would get a $500 fast start bonus. I was close, but I didn't quite hit it, and that hurt. So then I got to the last part of the training period, and that is for the last 6 weeks, so last I don't remember how many weeks, but it's like week 8 to 13. I had to make 4 sales on my own, which doesn't sound hard. It's a lot harder than you think. Mostly because there's a lot of stuff, and I don't want to go into too much detail about it, but people don't necessarily want to buy, so you really have to convince them. And it can be quite challenging. Every now and again, you'll get somebody who is eager and ready to go, but 9 times out of 10, you're going to have somebody who wants nothing to do with you, doesn't want to talk to you, and you have to try to convince them to not only stay on the phone and keep talking with you, but also buy something from you. And that's not easy. So I was worried about this part. And again, like the other one, if you don't accomplish that goal within a time period, you lose your job. So I got my first 2 sales fairly early on, and my goal the entire time was to make at least 1 sale every week. Because as long as I made 1 every week, I'd be done with 2 weeks to spare. You know, I wouldn't have to focus quite as much. I'd be in good shape. That didn't happen. I did get 1 a week for my first 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks of nothing. And then we got to the final week. Now, one thing that was nice is because there were 2 holidays that happened during that time period, we got 2 extra days. So it's like 5 or 6 weeks plus 2 extra days. Last week was my final week, and I needed 2 sales. And it was pretty nerve-wracking, but I feel last week was when I finally put things together and finally like really started getting it. So I made my first sale on Tuesday of last week. So I just needed 1 more. And I'm like, okay, I'll get it tomorrow. Didn't happen. Okay, I'll get it tomorrow. Didn't happen. We got all the way to Friday. Now, another thing I want to point out is one thing that can delay sales from going through is background check, because Angie requires all of our contractors have to go through a background check. And if the background check doesn't go through, the deal doesn't go through. So, and sometimes those background checks can take a while. I have one deal that as of last Friday still hadn't gone through, and it had been sitting and pending for over a week. So they can take a while to go through. So it was Friday, and I needed 1 more deal in order to graduate. And it was a tough day. I was pushing. It started off really rough. And then I got somebody, and it was impressive because it was someone who originally told me they didn't want to talk to me. They were busy, but I kept pushing. I kept talking, and I got the deal signed. So I graduated. I got through that part. So now the next part that I have to focus on is hitting goals. So now I don't have to make solo sales, although it's definitely beneficial because you get all of the credit. We also have a thing where you can essentially start a call and then hand it off to a big closer. And if they close your sale, you get half of it, which is a pretty sweet deal. And that's kind of a great way to make some money without having to necessarily do a ton of work or be particularly great at closing yourself. So I'm definitely going to focus on that over the next week. But so I don't have to stress about, I have to make solo sales, but I have to make goals. And those goals are going to continue to go up. Especially because August and September are Angie's like biggest months of the year. So I'm gonna, and because I graduated, now my goals are gonna go up. So I have to really focus on doing what I know what to do and make money. And I know I can do it. I mean, graduating was tough. It's not an easy job. And I've seen so many people who I trained with and so many people who looked really, really good and looked like they were going to do incredibly well at this job who didn't make it. So the fact that I made it, I graduated, and I'm officially on the team. Also, I finally can use my insurance. I can finally take time off. I'm not going to take time off anytime soon because I have goals to make, and that's kind of a trend with this job. But still, the fact that I did it is great. It really was that jolt I needed, because I was going into the weekend, I was very terrified that, like, if I didn't make a deal on Friday, that I would need to start applying for jobs, because there was a good shot that either I wasn't going to get one on Monday or Tuesday, or if I did and the background check didn't clear by Tuesday, and I wouldn't make it. But I did. I'm good. The background check cleared like almost instantaneously for my second deal. So my job is secure, which is a huge relief. So now I'm not going to focus less, because now my job is to continue to use the skills that I've learned over the past 13 weeks to continue to get better, especially because you can make a ton of money at this job if you really focus. And that's what I'm trying to do, is use all the tools that I've learned over the past few weeks to get good at this job and hopefully make a lot of money. So that's what I'm going to be doing. But now that I'm not as stressed because I at least have my job locked in, so to speak, that's going to help a lot when it comes to doing things outside of work, because that's one of the main reasons why I haven't done a whole lot of videos, is because I get off work and I'm stressed. Like, all I want to do is I'll get up, I'll just sit in my bed, I'll watch some YouTube videos. That's about it. I can't focus on much, because my mind is just going at a million miles an hour, trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do if this goes wrong? And now at least I'm at a point where there's a sense of security. Obviously, I have to continue to grow and continue to make sales and make money, but at least I know I'm not going to get fired next week. So that's good. So yeah, that's what's been going on with that. Other than that, we're getting things ready for a very big September. Of course, Halloween Horror Nights is coming around. That's one of the other reasons why I need to make some money at my job, is because September is not going to be cheap, because got to get Horror Nights stuff. Starfield comes out. I got the Spider-Man 2 PS5 accessories. Those aren't cheap. Those come out in early September as well. There's a lot of stuff that comes out in September that I need money for. So I'm hoping I can really hone in on everything I've learned from my job, really make some money, and get really good at it. But I mean, the fact that I'm still here, that's huge. This was one of those very few. I mean, most of the jobs, I freely admit, most of the jobs that I've done, I came in with the most confidence because I knew I could handle it. I genuinely did not know if I could handle this job. And the fact that I made it, the fact that I'm here, the fact that I was able to push through, even though I had self-doubt and I was struggling at times, it's great. So yeah, that's what's been going on. If anything else exciting happens over the next couple weeks, I'll share it. But I think we might have a revival of This Week coming maybe in September. We'll have to wait and see. Hello, everybody. It is Friday, and I wanted to share a kind of fun story today. So the last update, of course, that I had for this video was I graduated at work. So I became official. And in the week since then, it's been an interesting week. So I was feeling really good at the beginning of the week. So in addition to, of course, having to, graduating was the first step, but now I have to hit my sales goal every 2 weeks, which is our pay period. And if I don't, I get penalized. So you always want to hit your goal or get as close to it as you can. So since this was my first official, like, now that I'm on the team, I want to make sure I hit my goal. And I should have easily, because my 2 deals that I signed were each for $6,000 and my goal was like 17. So I needed like a couple good deals in order to hit goal. And I did that on, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. No, it was Wednesday. I sold a deal and I'm like, sweet. As long as it goes live, I hit goal. It took a day, but it finally did go live yesterday. So I was over goal. I was feeling really good. Then I found out that one of my deals got canceled. And there really wasn't much I could do to prevent it. The people on there are just kind of flaky, to be honest. Like, we're trying to do our best to help them out to get the word out about their businesses, and you know, sometimes they just don't know what's best for them. So I had somebody cancel. So when I came into work today, which is the last day of the pay period, I went from being like 105% to goal to 70%. And I have to have a minimum of 85% in order to not get penalized. So all of a sudden the pressure came on quite a bit, and I had to sell something today in order to at least get above 85. I wasn't that far, but I just needed to do it. I sold another deal today for $4,200, so I hit 95%, or 94, I think is what it was. And it was the 4th deal I sold in the last 2 weeks, which is easily an all-time record for me. In the first 6 weeks I was there, I sold like two sales, and then it took me another 6 weeks to get 4. My next 4 I got in 2, so I've done really well. And the biggest thing is I've been taking all of the coaching that I've been getting from work. You know, every day we have a little huddle, as they call it, where they go over the process. We make sure everybody's on the same page. We make sure everybody is doing exactly what they need to do, following the process. And I like to think that I'm someone who takes that and implements it as best I can. And I've really been, I was a bit of a slow starter, but I feel like over the past few weeks, it's finally like started to kick in. And it was awesome because at the end of the day today, I was on the phone with a guy and I didn't end up getting the sale, but I fought tooth and nail for it. And after I got off the phone, I got pulled into a Zoom room with all of the managers, just me and all of the managers. And I'm like, oh gosh, what did I do? They all applauded me and told me that I have not only shown incredible improvement, and that I'm doing everything that I am supposed to be doing, but like the effort that they heard was really impressive. So that meant a lot. I've been working really hard at this job. I mean, I'm sure everyone's noticed that like I haven't been uploading that many videos, mostly because I've been really trying hard to focus at getting good at this job, because I know if I can get good at this job, it can completely change things, because you can make a lot of money at this job, and that's what I want to do. So the fact that all the managers were like, hey, you're doing an amazing job and you're doing everything that we've been telling you, you've been taking the coaching, putting it to good use, and you've showed a significant improvement. I'm like, yeah, that means the world. So I just wanted to share that because that was a really cool moment. And you know, I left the day, even though, yeah, I technically lost some money because I didn't hit goal and because I had, you know, that 6,000 that I lost. I got pretty close to it and still graduated. I still left with my head held incredibly high because I put in very hard work and I did exactly what I was supposed to do. So yeah, that's Just wanted to share that story. All right, so that leads us to now, my last day off before I go back to work on Monday. And I've already been, on Friday I was challenged by my managers to up what I did last week, or the last 2 weeks. So I'm really going to have to step up my A game this week. But I don't think that'll be a problem considering how well I did last time. So I'm sure a lot of people are asking, okay, what's the plan for this week going forward? Because, I mean, you said it's coming back. A lot of people have mentioned they miss it, and I get that. I needed a break. It was a series that I was doing pretty consistently for 3 years. I mean, if you include the Quarantine Chronicles, which was kind of the beginning of this series, like I started in March of 2020 and stopped doing it in, May of 2023. So I was doing it for a solid 3 years. And I just needed a break. So I took that break. It's been a few months. Here's the current plan. I'm thinking about bringing it back in September, because September is the beginning of what I like to call the fun part of the year. That's when we get, spooky season. There's a lot of stuff going on. The weather gets better, usually. So I feel September is the right month to bring back this week. Now, I don't know specifically when. A lot of it's just going to depend on when I have enough content to bring it back. But it will be coming back this year. And right now I'm looking at September to bring it back. So we'll see when, but just be on the lookout. I'll post a community post on the channel, as well as I might post on Twitter as well. Or sorry, X. Now it's called X. So be on the lookout for posts from me about the official return of BigC this week of BigC. One thing I haven't talked about on this channel a lot, which is interesting. So you know how last year I made a big deal about when this channel hit 1,000 subscribers, because the hope was, hey, we'll finally be able to get monetized. We haven't been able to do that. And the main reason is because nobody's watching videos. So we have to have a certain amount of watch time on the channel in order for it to qualify for the partner program. And we're not even close to that. Like, this channel's been at 1,000. We're almost at 1,300 subscribers. And the watch time is pretty terrible. That's part of why I stopped posting as regularly as I have, because it's a lot of effort for videos that people just aren't watching. Now, I will say, the last few videos I've been posting have been doing better. Like the Taste Test Adventures I did at Epcot are doing pretty well. And I have some more creative ideas I want to do on the channel in terms of food videos and some other stuff. So stuff is coming. It's just not going to be as regular, because I feel I'd rather release less frequent videos, but then be better quality. So that's kind of what I'm aiming for. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. This channel has been over 1,000 subscribers for over a year now, and we're still not monetized. However, the BigCTV Plays channel is monetized. We hit 1,000 subscribers a couple months ago, and that channel has not only gotten monetized before this one, it's almost at 2,000 subscribers. We're already at 1780 or something like that. Like, we're getting close to 1,800 subscribers, or it's somewhere. It's really high, which is amazing. So I've been focusing a little bit more on that channel, just because that's the channel where it's monetized, and people seem to be watching that channel a little bit more. So check out some of the videos on that channel. I do gaming stuff. I've been doing Let's Plays, as well as my Barky Game Hunter series, which is incredibly popular. So check those out if you enjoy video game hunting. But yeah, I'm going to try to bring some more fun, interesting, creative ideas back to this channel. Like I mentioned in the recap, one of the reasons why I haven't been uploading as much on this channel is because I've been kind of stressed about work. I'm a little less stressed now that I've graduated, so I should be able to spend a little more time after work working on content. So that's the goal. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on. Yes, I know we created that Pokemon channel and have uploaded 4 videos on it. I have a bunch of back catalog videos I want to start getting out on that channel. To be completely honest, I've kind of slowed down on Pokemon. Like we started with Scarlet and Violet, and then I never bought Paldea Evolved. I do want to get Obsidian Flames because there's Charizards in it, but I'm just not as drawn to buy Pokemon cards as I was before. So it might be a little slow on that channel for a bit, although the 151 set is coming out in October, and that set I think is going to probably get me back in. But for now, I think expect maybe some back catalog stuff on that channel. They'll try to start drip feeding out as I can. And then Thrill Seekers should be a lot more busy soon because we're going to have spooky season. So expect videos from Halloween, Halloween Horror Nights, maybe some other stuff, who knows. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on all the channels. Anyway, enough of me talking. That's going to do it for this special episode of This Week with Big C. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're new around here, be sure to hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell, that way you know when new videos drop. And hopefully I will see you again in September for the premiere, season 2 premiere, updated premiere. I don't know what to call it. I don't really do seasons, so the return of Big C, This Week with Big C. Thanks. Bye.